If your banjo fights every adjustment, your tailstock grinds instead of glides, it's probably not you. It's your lathe. A lathe is not a tool you buy once and forget. It's a machine with very fast rotating and moving metal parts, and every one of those parts is either protected or it's wearing out. There's no third option. Rust, your enemy, creates friction. Friction makes metal drag instead of glide. That's when most people force it, and that's what causes the real damage. Every problem starts small, but gets worse when ignored. We're going to walk you through this machine front to back. None of it's hard, it all matters. One habit prevents more of what is coming than anything else on this list. Run a dust collector, or at a minimum, a shop vacuum while you turn, not only when you sand. Fine dust is a serious threat to a machine with this many moving parts. Keep it out at the source, and the rest of this list gets shorter. Everything in this video is shown on PSI's Turncrafter Commander 12-inch swing variable speed mini lathe. If you turn on a different model, a different brand, or an older machine, check your manufacturer's manual. The steps are the same everywhere, some of the numbers are not. You don't need much: a bar of soap or paste wax for the bed, a dry PTFE lubricant or a rust preventative spray of your choice, a fine file, an abrasive pad, and a soft brush for dust. Before you start, unplug the lathe. Some of what we're about to do involves your hand near a spindle or a pulley, and there's no maintenance task on this machine worth doing with power connected. First on the list is the lathe bed. Start with this. Clear off the dust and shavings first. Every time you turn, not just when you remember maintenance exists. Shavings that sit on the lathe bed can hold moisture, and moisture on bare cast iron or steel is how rust starts. If you already have light surface rust, an abrasive pad or fine steel wool will lift it off without scratching the lathe bed. Do not use anything coarser than that. You are removing rust, not resurfacing the rail. Once the rails are clean, a thin coat of soap or paste wax buffed out gives you two things at once. It protects the metal from rust and lets your banjo and tailstock glide instead of dragging. One more habit while we are on the subject of rust. If the lathe is going to sit for more than a day or two, cover it. If you use plastic instead, wipe the bed dry first. In a shop with any humidity, plastic can hold moisture against bare metal just as easily as it keeps moisture out. Your tool rest is the one part of this whole machine your gouge actually touches while you cut. If the edge has a nick in it, your tool catches on that nick every single pass, and you will feel it as chatter and blame your technique. A fine file along the top edge clears most nicks in under a minute. Work in one direction. Check with your finger. Stop once it's smooth. You're not trying to remove the metal, just that high spot or nick. Clean the underside of the banjo the same way you cleaned the bed, and check that the locking lever engages firmly without needing any force. If your tailstock wheel is hard to turn, this is the single most complaint we see in tech support, and it's almost always solved in under 10 minutes. Most hand wheels come off with 1 or 2 set screws. Threading it out fully lets the quill come free. On most mini lathes, this thread runs in reverse of what you would normally expect. So if it seems to be tightening instead of loosening, you are turning the wrong way. Remove the internal threaded shaft from the quill and brush off any dirt on it. A thin coat of clear paste wax buffed onto the threaded shaft and quill prevents rust and provides a slick, non-sticky surface. If your headstock has an access panel over the pulley or belt, open it now. Debris collects in there and most turners never look because there is nothing to prompt them to. Same taper clearing we did at the tailstock. Now it's on the headstock side. Same reason. Debris in there means your drive center or chuck arbor does not see true, and everything you turn after that is running slightly off center without you knowing why. If your headstock has an indexing pin, make sure it's fully in the unlocked position before you power on. Confirm the spindle spins freely with the pin up. Powering on with that pin still engaged is one of the few mistakes on this entire machine that can damage it the very next time you turn it on. If you ever do remove the jaws to clean them fully, look for the numbers stamped on each one. They come back in the same slot they came out of. Mix them up and the chuck will not center properly, and you will spend an afternoon convinced something is broken when it's just reassembled wrong. Always close and open your chuck jaws by hand, never with a drill or impact driver. By hand, you feel debris binding before it does damage. With a power tool, you feel nothing until something is already broken. Before every remount, brush both surfaces, the chuck threads and the spindle threads, then thread it on by hand until it seats. If you feel resistance before it is fully seated, stop, back it off, and clear both surfaces again. Never force that last turn. The thread that gives first is the one on your lathe, not the one on your chuck. Make sure the lathe sits level and every mounting bolt is snug. A lathe that rocks even slightly transmits that vibration into every cut you make. That is every system on the machine. None of it takes long once you know where to look, and all the difference between a lathe that lasts 20 years and one that you're fighting with by year 3. We put the full schedule in the description and pinned in the comments along with every product used in this video. If your lathe is doing something not covered here, tell us in the comments. Tech support reads them, and if enough of you are dealing with the same problem, that is the next video.